Good evening, everybody. It's Valerie Ling here, clinical psychologist, person who likes to talk about burnout and all that stuff. It's been a while since I've actually come live. I thought about that. I've been feeling a little, I don't know, a bit of void coming on live. I think I understand why. I actually did a couple of live videos and then I deleted it and all that jazz. You know what? Here's the thing. No matter how much two things tend to happen. No matter how much I try to shut up about preventing burnout, I can't seem to actually do it. And I think I've recently just entered a zone of innovation, or feeling the need to innovate. And whenever you come up with new ideas, or you think this is a real problem and it's really something that I want to do something about, you obviously have to innovate, and then you have to take risks. And then when you have to take risks, things get a little bit scary. But I'm here this evening because once I realized what was happening, it kind of goes with my whole philosophy, right, of making sure that you are self-aware so that you engage in the meaningful things that you want to do. One of the things that I've discovered in my travels as I move around different places is how many people actually do get to see some of these live videos or know of my blog or my page. Or so I'd love it if at some stage, if you felt comfortable, send me a message or just let me know, who are you? Where are you? What do you do? And perhaps what your interest is in watching these things. Hopefully, if I keep talking, I might see some people who might actually come live with me. I wanted to share a very interesting thing this week that occurred to me. Hello there, hi. Just sharing with you something that turned up for me today that I thought was actually a fantastic thing. And given that I'm all into movements, creating movements, like every time I talk to anybody about an idea, it's like, it's not an idea, it's a movement. We've got to start a movement. One of my things about building resilience is actually knowing the science behind resilience. When you say resilience, it's a little bit like eating chocolate. Everybody wants to pop something into their mouth so that it tastes good, gives them a lift, or putting one of those pod coffees in, right? You just chuck a pod coffee in there. Anyways, that's what resilience is like. And after a while, I'm like, I need a new word. My friend Guatemala, I just watched one of her videos, reminded me, she was actually echoing my words, that I talk about capacity building. Yes, capacity building. Everybody, we want to actually increase the capacity to do the things that are meaningful. And I've been struggling with exercise. Now, it was exercise week, sort of the sort of public health promotion for doing more exercise. And I do not like exercise, but there is plenty of good evidence that says we need to exercise. Now, I would like to share with you the story that I have with you about exercise. When I was little and I went to school, in another country, not in this country, I was pretty much told in primary school that I should just avoid sport because it really wasn't my thing, right? And you've probably heard this story if you've heard my vlogs a few times before. Thus began my belief structure that exercise wasn't just for me, or just wasn't for me. I'm getting my words muddled up. Fast forward to about 2009, when exercise actually became a saving medium for me. 2009 was when I bought my first adult pair of exercise shoes. I started with exercise then, but it was really only in 2013 that, for some desperate reasons, nothing to do with my weight, nothing to do with my health, but for my own sanity, that I felt like I actually really needed to get moving. And when I experienced what it was like to run, when I came home, the clarity I had, the sort of focus that I had, and the sort of release that I had, I really got into running. Fast forward to 2019, the body has aged significantly, and I don't always get a chance to run. And so one of my things that it's been really bugging me is how on earth do I do exercise? Where do I get the time to do exercise? How am I going to find the motivation to do exercise? And let me tell you that all of this, even as I'm saying it in my head, I'm going, you know that none of this matters. You don't create motivation so you go exercise. You don't say, I need another hour in my day so you can exercise. No. You do it. You put one foot forward and you do it one step at a time. But I want to tell you what I discovered today, and it's my latest thing that I think I'm going to roll with, and I'm sharing with you because you might start the movement too. People, let's start this movement. So I turned up for my regular meeting. It's called supervision. Psychologists go through it with one another. And it so happened that I decided to walk to the place where we were supposed to meet. And I thought, okay, I'll just do this. And when I walked there, the person who I was meeting then said to me, hey, let's do supervision a little bit differently today. Let's do a walking supervision. Blew my mind. What? Say what? What's a walking supervision? I'm pretty sure she hadn't thought of that before, but it just popped into her head. And she's like, let's do our normal thing, supervision, but we're gonna walk instead while we do the debriefing and the talking. And I'm like, oh, I don't have water. I don't know if I can do this. I don't even have a handbag. Where am I going to store like my phone and my keys? And I don't have the right shoes. And I don't know if I can make, our 2-hour session by walking. But you can't lose face when you're in a situation like this, when you talk about burnout and doing exercise. So what you do is you put on that face that says, of course we will do supervision walking. Even though in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't know, I'm prepared for this. And my very lovely friend, she's a clinical psychologist, and we've done supervision together for the last 3 or 4 years. We walk out together. She runs back into the house. I don't know what she's doing. She tells me, I'm just going to shut the door right now because I need to get something. I'm like, yeah. In my head, I'm still running through the whole thing of, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And she comes out with a handbag, right? I'm looking at her, I'm like, we're going to do a 2-hour walk and you come back with a handbag. And she slings it over her shoulder. And she says, great, now we have a bag. And so I stuffed my mobile phone and my keys and everything. And guess what, folks? We did not just do a 1-hour supervision. We did not just do 2 hours. We did 2.5 hours of walking while we were having our meeting. And I was just shown the impossible. I was like, mind blown. This is like a thing. So here's my challenge, people, for the meet to exercise movement. If you are on my diary, not my client, not my clinical load, like if you're seeing me in the practice, you will see me in the practice in my room. I'm not going to drag you out for a walk for us to do therapy, although let's innovate that. But if you are in my diary in the next few months for a networking meeting or whatever, you will find me saying, hey, let's do this walking, because I will have my shoes in my car. And I am more than likely to say, we are going to convert this meeting into a meet and walk thing, get our exercise, get our sunshine, practice exactly what I preach, and actually have a ball doing it. So here's my challenge for the movement that we are creating tonight. You and my audience of not that many, pass it on. This is a public post and share it. Put some shoes in your car, and whatever meeting you go to, just offer it and say, hey, do you want to do this meeting with a walk? We could grab a coffee as we go along, because you never know. You might just get that person saying, hey, what a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? We'll all be moving, we'll all be talking, we'll still be meeting, but we won't be having coffee and cake, we'll be walking. That's got to be worth sharing. Thank you. If you've joined me live, I've got a new phone. I have no idea how to see the comments. I will figure it out. I will. Maybe on my next walking meet. Good night.